Yes, my name is Bench and welcome back to our rail tutorial series. In the last video we built this, our hangar, which has automated doors triggered by the actual rail that it's on, and we hit a server autosave right when it's all opening up. That's pretty funny. So that was really cool. Now, utilizing some of the stuff we learned there, in this video we're going to actually create ourselves some alternating movements according to the order that it goes, and actually be able to have them trigger each other when they're done. So if things like that happen, you don't get things crashing into each other. In this case, we're going to build ourselves a landing gear, which is pretty sweet. So we'll set ourselves a nice little space here in the area that we're building, and this will be where the actual landing gear comes out of. So it'll pop down here, which is great. So we also need to set up, or our doors are going to be in here, and it'll open up and allow us for our thing to actually drop down. So we'll make it even Steven for now, just because it's a bit easier to rig up, and we'll build same deal our rails like so. So we've got doors, they pop up and we get out of the way, and then our rail will come down. So on the alternate side we can do our actual rail track for our landing gear. So we've got those set up. We'll grab some white light just so we can see what we're doing. Always important to see what you're doing. And again, similar to the other side, we're just going to quickly hook up the logic part of everything for toggling. So again, we've got those. C and then Shift V, C and then Shift V, flip flop into the knot, and they're both next to the two alternating things. On this side, similar setup. We do our 4 options. On the top we'll run our open, which is those 3, because we don't go down, and we'll select open, open. The stuff going to the right will be this door, stuff going to the left will be this door. Underneath we do the opposite, so we don't include the up, we include the down, and we need these two going down, we need this one moving across, we need this one moving across. And what we'll do is, again, we'll grab our flip-flop with a knot going into it, or coming out of it, toggle, and then one side we'll select all those, the other side we'll select all these, which is exactly what we need. And what we might do for now is grab a button, put it in there, and be able to toggle it so that we're building actually in the setup, rather than our pieces trying to pull each other out. Alright, so now that we've got that all set up, we'll build the doors quickly. So we need a ship. We grab the ship. What we're going to do is then grab our rail docker on the front, spin it down so it points down because these arrows point down, hit T for the weapons menu, drop it in, and then use the beam to dock it on there. So here we go, just a simple floor door there. We'll create another ship, spin it around, same deal. Drop the rail docker on the front with the arrow pointing down to match what we've got, and drop it in there like so. And we'll fill in the second half of that door there. So now we can test these out with the button. They should come up and out of the way, and we'll toggle it again. They go up and down. Perfect. So now we need to build our actual landing gear. So we hit X, create the ship, and in this case we need to actually spin our rail docker around so it faces up to match these arrows, and we'll drop it in like so. So this is going to come down to there. So we need to actually fill in this area so it looks nice and flush. And then we can kind of just stick. And this probably needs to be higher. So we'll move it up higher in a second. Like so. And we'll grab black to fill in the bottom, just to give it something different. And an alternate shape. And we can kind of have like a little toey bit at the front, like so. So there's our landing gear all set up. We'll jump out of that, jump back into our build block and just extend this up one, like so. And we just need to connect these so that it's all good. So now we've got our landing gear all set up, it'll all drop through nicely. So we need to hook up the actual logic for this all to run the way we want it to. So we're going to take our button and drop a button. This will be the button that controls everything, and we're going to send it into 2 AND gates, where each of those AND gates goes into a flip-flop, and each flip-flop goes into a NOT. Like so. And then I can toggle them, and you can see that's them toggling. Now, the NOT of this one is going to go into both AND gates, so that we can toggle them, but then we can't change them again, which is good. We don't want us trying to toggle the landing gear when it's in the process of being triggered. So now that we've got that set up, we can work out what we want to do. So in this instance, our flip-flop on this side will be for the current state that we're in, and then we'll use the NOT to actually open stuff up. So the current state that we're in would be, we require this to go up first, and then we need the doors to close once that's all retracted. So what we'll do is we'll grab a block going into the toggle for this, and we're going to take this and send it into that. So it's going to move up. Now when this gets up, what we want it to do is trigger the next movement, which is the doors closing. So we're going to take a block up here, and we're going to bring it out somewhat, get rid of our extras, and then we're going to take this and plug it into the door button, which toggles the flip-flop as well. So when we toggle to this flip-flop, we trigger the door to do a change, then the landing gear to do a change, and once the landing gear has made it all the way to the top, we then, through this series, trigger the doors to close, which is what we want. And now what we want to do is, on the doors closing, we want an activation module, which will come over here, and it will actually toggle the AND gate, this one, toggle this one here, which will then enable us to be able to change stuff again. Now, when we're in the next state, we want the doors opening before the landing gear goes down. So on the NOT state, we want to go and we want to trigger this first, so the doors open, and then on the doors finishing opening, which is it arriving here, we want to then toggle this here, and we'll just put a block over here just to make it easier. So we want to then toggle the door to go down. And finally, when the door's finished going down, we want to then detect it on the bottom. So it's gone all the way down, and then we're going to trigger this one, and this is going to go in the same way that we had this one go around. and this is our end state, which then lets us be able to toggle again. So it's a little bit convoluted with some blocks floating around and stuff, but it's pretty simple. We just choose which order we want things to go, and then similar to how we had blocks on this setup triggering things, we're going to have blocks on this side triggering things. And we don't need the AND gates like we needed them over here, because we're using them on the very end of Rails, at the top and at the bottom, not in the middle where they can be triggered twice. So now that all this is set up, we push the button and we can test it all out. And it's not going to work because it hasn't actually triggered stuff through yet, because I've locked myself out. There we go. Alright, so now we're good. This one's off. This one's going to change, and we'll see doors come up, and this hasn't toggled properly. There we go. So all the way down, and you can see that's toggled now. Our landing gear's down like it should be. And then when we push this button again, we'll see that goes up, and then it will trigger the doors like so once it's gotten to the top. And then once they go down, it does the trigger around here to toggle the flip-flop. So this flip-flop indicates when we're good to go. And we could even add an indicator so we know. So we add a white block coming controlled by the knot, grab the flip-flop and the red light, put it there as well. And there we have it. We've got a little control booth indicator that says, are we deploying stuff at the moment? No, or yes, which is awesome. We don't need that there. So then we can toggle. You can see red light, and the red light will stay on until we finish deploying everything, and then we can change it again. If we push it and we try to push it again, nothing's going to happen. It's not going to work. So there we have it. So we can take a button and connect it into that first button controller if we want to watch it from underneath, like so. Push it, you can see doors open, landing gear comes down. Push button, landing gear goes up, doors come out and down again. That's a way that you can trigger or change the order of things pretty easily just by configuring the little controller for each of your movements and then configuring the order that you use them or trigger them. So that is how to build that. In the next video, we're going to look at easing with the speed controller. So easing your movements on Rails, similar to Bezier curves and all that. Really exciting, really interesting, and not something you can usually do anywhere else with any of the other mechanics. So let's check that out in the next video. Until next time, my name is Bench, and thanks for watching.